Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to the stream. My name is Andy from Deno. I'm the product marketing manager here at Deno, and we got a very special stream for you today. With Deno 145, we recently announced support for Monorepos and workspaces, and today we're going to go all over the new feature, as well as talk about some other updates from 145, and to answer any questions you might have about any of that stuff. And to join us, we have a very special guest. We have David Sherritt, who is instrumental in a lot of the CLI work, especially with the new Monorepos and workspace support. Welcome, David. How are you?
Good. How are you, Andy?
Good, good. We were just talking about the storm that's going up to the East Coast. Hopefully everything where you are is going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it's lightning here, so hopefully there's no power outage, but I think we'll be good.
No power outage, great. Yeah, I was living in New York when Hurricane Sandy went through it, and that was like it was like one of those times when everyone was just out on the street because there's no power anywhere. And it was a lot of fun, actually. I had a great time. They had a lot of like Hurricane Sandy parties.
Nice, yeah.
Which is such a way to such a response to a natural disaster, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we dive into the main meat of today's live stream, let's go over some general updates from 145. And let me see how I can share my screen. Here we go. Let's see how to do this. All right. Is this right? Oh, weird. It shows up like tall like that. Why does it show up tall? Let's see.
Oh, do you have a vertical screen?
I do. There we go. Yeah, I have a vertical. I have two monitors. One is like landscape and one is vertical. And the vertical monitor I have is just for watching TikToks. So, but yeah, I switched over here. Okay, let's take a look at 145 support, or the most recent release. The main headline really is workspaces, but before we dive into that, let's talk about some of the other features.
Yeah, probably the frozen lock file.
Yes, frozen lock file.
Yeah, should I do a demo of this, or do you want to try?
If you have a demo, yeah, go for it.
Okay, let me just.
I stop screen, right? Here we go.
Okay. Scratch 2.
John Tibble from our YouTube chat says, hey, Andy. Hello, David. Still pushing everyone to use Deno whenever possible. Thank you, John. We really appreciate it. And thanks for joining the stream.
Yeah, so actually one thing I can show, first of all, is this. We have a new lib flag for Deno, so I can set up the project here by doing that.
Great.
Specify the current directory. Yeah, it should do it. So this creates a Deno JSON for me with an example mod.ts and some test files. But let's say, let me get rid of this. So say I add a dependency, and let's add chalk. So now this has been added as a dependency here. And if I use it, oops, if I can spell. Okay, and I'm just going to run this. Let's allow permissions. Okay, so we have a log file here that gets created after we ran. And sometimes, people, they want all dependencies that they've specified. They don't want this kind of auto installing, auto additive lock file. So say now if we run, we add, from JSR, std path, and then we use that. Let's just import it this way, which you wouldn't really do. You would use the path import, but I'll just show this. So if I do Deno run frozen, actually, let me make sure I'm on the latest release. Okay, good. Frozen lock file, mod.ts. So this is going to error. And it's basically saying that the lock file is out of date because, it was going to add this. You can see the exact same behavior as well with Deno cache. It's also updating the lock file. So we can, if we want to accept that, we can just do this without the frozen lock file and then take a look. We see everything looks good in the dependencies. And now we can run again and it's going to work. So it's just a new way to not update the lock file. We're going to, in the future, add a, we have this lock, you can say false and stuff to disable the lock file, but there'll be a new frozen option here in the future.
Yeah,
Got it.
I saw that on Workspace, so I was like, oh.
We'll get it in for the next minor release.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, obviously, working in CI, I think this is really important just to make sure your dependencies don't go out of sync.
I'd recommend using it when you're, done development and everything's ready to go.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Yeah, that's a really nifty feature. Do we know if Node does something similar to this?
Package managers like npm and pnpm, they'll have frozen lock. They'll have a frozen log file flag as well, and I think a frozen config.
Oh, okay.
I know pnpm and Yarn, they have it, but yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to seeing this out there. And if you do get a chance to use it, let us know. We're always looking for feedback. Cody mentions cargo too. So that's all really great.
What did you get?
Yeah. Another. Should I move on to the next?
Sure.
So you can have environment files like this, and I can put some text, maybe hello in here. And if I do this and I run get, what did I call it again? Oh yeah, example. Let's just get rid of this for now to make it simpler. Okay, so if I do run mod.ts, this should, it's going to ask for environment permissions, for example. I'll allow it, and you see it's undefined. So in Deno run, you can use the end flag, and now it actually reads from the environment file here. It's okay, this is the environment variable name, and this is the value. And now it's actually reading that here. But an issue is if you do Deno compile mod.ts, and then if I run this, that's going to be undefined. So in this version, we added an environment flag, and it's told me that it's embedded the environment file into the generated executable. So that warning's just there, just in case there's maybe something you don't want to be embedding in the executable file. This is anything you embed in the executable, a user can inspect this in a hex editor or something and see what's in there. So just be aware of that. So now if I run it grabs the environment variable out of there instead of being undefined like before.
Yeah, that's useful. I remember trying to use compile, but unable to use the environmental variables. So that definitely makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, there is. I guess people could inspect that environmental variable, so there is like a security vector there potentially. But it's always good to be aware of that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
Yep. And then another one of the new features is, I guess, confirm in Jupyter Notebooks. Do you remember the file extension IP?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think IPY something.
I can never remember because I don't use.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick. I think that's right. Yeah, nice.
Oh, I wonder if I have it installed on this machine. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't have it set up on this machine, but basically, there's I forget the Jupyter. Oh, I can't spell. How do you spell it again?
It's a Jupyter, but the I is a Y, so JUPYTER.
Isn't that what I? Oh, there. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
It's already installed. Oh, Jupyter kernel. Oh, I had it. I just didn't realize.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Again, I don't use that too often, but yeah, now we can do confirm. So enter your name. And then let's output the name. So if we run this should work. Yeah. So enter my name, David. And
oh, your name is false.
False. Does console log not work?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you can just write it out like that. It should print. You try it.
Huh.
Huh.
If maybe. Oh, because it's a confirm, not from.
Oh yeah, okay. I guess it's confirm is Boolean.
Yeah. So David. There we go. Sorry, I'm in the wrong JavaScript.
Yeah. So we added some more interactive prompts to Jupyter Notebooks.
Just confirm also works.
Yeah.
So do yes. Let's say yes. Okay, true. Yep.
Great. So, if you're building out, workbooks, now you can add some interactivity to them. And we've been quietly working on our Jupyter kernel supports, and the plan is to have some more Jupyter related content that we're going to start publishing. I've been talking to Kyle Kelly, and he's been very keen to do more in this front. So we're very excited to continue to create some more content around that.
Yeah, and then for what's remaining on the release, there's been a lot of continuing Node.js compatibility improvements, lots of stuff with like the Node API is getting a lot better, a lot of hashing improvements, discovering like npm-rc configuration files in your home directory.
Yep. I think one interesting thing is the post install scripts or the lifecycle install scripts.
Yep. So I can show that. So let's use a node modules directory. So this only happens if you use a node modules directory. And the reason for that is we can't run post install scripts in the global cache because a lot of the times those post install scripts expect a node modules directory structure. And also additionally, you don't want to be messing with stuff in your global cache because that will affect all your projects. So you need to, if you want to run post install scripts, you need to use a local node modules directory. So this happens if you specify node modules dir true, or if you have a package JSON in your project. So what what's an example that we used? I'll just copy from the blog post. I think DuckDB. Just import that. Oops. Okay. Let's allow. Okay, so that failed. Yeah, because I can't find the module. So 1 second. So this should have said something about prompts. Oh, here we go. So the package contained npm lifecycle scripts, pre-install, post-install, that were not executed. And yeah, the reason why it didn't work is because we didn't allow scripts for npm duckdb. So what we can do is we can just run again, let's say scripts. Oh.
And what the thing to note is that
Yeah.
there are a lot of npm packages that
Yeah, I was gonna say we should go to the dog park.
when you install them, they perform
Yeah.
additional operations pre and post install to make sure that it's installed properly. And yeah, this now that with Deno we can support those kinds of lifecycle commands when something is being installed.
Yep. Yeah. So here I've run the warning was saying to run Deno cache -- allow scripts, and I said okay, I'll run for duckdb, and we're running for this file mod.ts, which has this npm specifier. So now it's gone ahead and run that, and so I think now this should work. Yep. So you saw previously, it was erroring, and that was because it couldn't find this .node file because it wasn't installed. So now, Deno can run post-install scripts a little easier than before. Like we don't run them by default because there's some security issues related to that. Like a lot of times that's one of the ways that packages run code is just on installs. So you have to explicitly opt in. In the future, we're probably going to add like you can specify in here what are your like trusted dependencies to run a script, like to run these scripts, or in a package JSON, it'll exist there. But yeah, this is just a start to get those scripts running.
Yeah, that's definitely important to note that it is a security vulnerability allowing these packages to basically do whatever when they're being installed. So it's important to be mindful of that. We have a question from Oliver Cool. Any way to add that flag together with the cache on save setting?
I will say though, one of my friends saved Poodle Mix.
Do you know if that is something that works?
Like to use that flag with the cache. Okay, I see. Like you run. I don't think now it just will give a warning the first time you run. But yeah, you need to at the moment do an explicit cache.
Okay. Great. Awesome. I think I'm just looking through the rest of 145, and I think those are the main things that we have. I think we can start talking about workspaces.
Yep. Yeah. So workspaces are a really exciting new feature for Deno. We have finally stabilized Deno workspaces, but also npm workspaces. So, and you can have a Deno workspace mixed in with an npm workspace to allow transitioning over. But yeah, so one repo we can just show this off in is Deno STD, and I'm just going to pull it up. I'll share my screen again.
Great. Yeah, Workspaces has been something that people have been talking about for a while, asking about for a while, and it's and it's one of those things where it's like I'm gonna add you to the stage. One of those things where it's people, they have their own like workflows and stuff, and for Deno, we just want to make it as flexible and powerful as possible so it can fit into your needs. So while we do the Workspaces demo, if you are using Workspaces, please let us know in the comments. And if you have any issues or questions about it, like let us know and we'll be sure to cover them on the stream.
Yeah, so basically a workspace, is a way to have many packages all together under the same, like development workspace. So you can not only have different packages, but also different configs. So what's shown here is Deno STD, and this is a big workspace project. And within Deno STD, there's a bunch of packages here. So archive, assert, async, bytes. You usually import them by doing like jsr :add_std/net is an example. And it's just a way to get everything under one roof. You're able to import from one package into another package quite easily. And maybe I'll show just a quick, like a more simple example first, because it's big and Deno STD.
Well, for the STD example, I know in our blog post we say how easy it is to publish with Deno Publish using this monorepo. Maybe we can talk a little bit about, like, let's say we want to publish just CSV, or like what does that look like for, let's say, someone who has a bunch of JSR packages that they want to manage in a single repo. What would like publishing one module look like?
Yeah, so you can see here we've within this root Deno JSON, we have a workspace defined, and these are all the individual members. So say we just want to publish the path dependency. So what we can do is we can cd into just path, and within here there's a Deno JSON file. And this Deno JSON, it has, a name and a version, so std path, and this version. So if we just wanted to publish this one, what we could do is run Deno publish dry run. And it's gone, and it's basically, I've simulated a publish for Deno std path here. And you can see here simulating publish of std path with these files, and it shows me all the files that it's going to publish. You can see there. And then it aborted because I ran with this dry run flag, because the dry run is not a real publish. It's just a way to actually skip the upload part. So I've done everything but the uploading. And so that's for publishing a single one.
Yep.
So I can also, just run tests in here, and it just runs those tests. I think I have to run with permissions. Yep. And I can go in the parent repo, and I can run lint for all those packages, or again, just for a sub package. And you can see here, like say at fs depends on path. You can just import from std path by just using a bare specifier like this, specifying the name of the other member.
Yep. So using that bare specifier is like a relative local link, right? And it's not through.
Yeah, like when I go to this module, you see here I'm still in path join. Yeah, so that's basically an overview of like what a Deno workspace is like. It's yeah, just a way to have multiple packages. But again, you can also just have like different configs. So say I want, let's say like in tools, I put a Deno JSON in there. And in here, I want to format with semicolons. And we'll set that to false. And now we're going to add a member in here. So this is tools. And let's open up one of these files. So now if I go to the root and I run Deno format, you see all the semicolons disappeared just for this folder.
Yep.
But these other folders are completely untouched. So if I open up this one, it's still using semicolons. So this is not only a way, yeah, again, just to emphasize, it's not only a way to have multiple packages, but it's a way to have multiple configs.
Yeah, and that's important, say, if you are working in a legacy code base and you want to do some incremental migrations, having like, directory specific config would ease in that migration.
Yeah. One important thing is there's like certain config properties that don't work on a member compared to the workspace root. So for example, let's say I add lint and I want a different reporter. Say I want JSON. Okay. If I run Deno lint, it's going to warn that this lint reporting is ignored. And that's because, yeah, this is just an example of something that can only be at the top level. So for this, if I move it up here to the top, so now it's at the workspace root. If I run, now I get the JSON reporter. So it'll warn you about different things that don't work. Right now, compiler options don't work in a submember. So if I don't even know if that one's relevant. I don't know, you do some like JSX precompile up here in a submember. This is going to warn. So if I, let me do no check so I get less output. Oh, no, I started running it. There we go. So yeah, this is not supported at the moment, but we'd like to support it in the future. It's just something that hasn't been implemented. It's a bit more work to do.
Got it. Yeah. Yes, some of those attributes only work in the root member. And if you want to see the full list of what's currently supported, it's in our documentation. I can drop a link in our chat.
Yep. So I can show off like an NPM workspace example. Should we move to that or?
Yeah. Well, before we do that, there's a few questions.
Okay.
Let's just go over them real quick. We have this question. Can you use path aliases to the same module to avoid relative imports?
Yeah, so that can be done with import maps. So there might be an import map in here already. Yeah. So say, I don't know, let's say my module. So what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, map this specifier, my module. So actually, let's just reset this for a second. And let's add a file. From my module. Okay, so I have here, yeah, bare specifier. And what I want to do is I want to say like route this bare specifier to a package, to a module. Let's say, let's go to this join within, this is within path. So path join. So I can just say here, my module, and then I think it's path join. Let's overwrite. And I think I forgot to remove the member. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is basically saying map this spare specifier to this path. And if I run that example, does not have a default export. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's import from the namespace. There, yeah, you can see this join is on there now. And I even get that in the LSP.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
you can, you know, I wouldn't even have to specify this. I could also do like ASR, CD, join. And this should still map to, yeah, that local module. So yeah, import maps are the way to do this. You specify in Deno JSON under the imports.
Great. Yeah, so it is pretty flexible for your configuration, and yeah, you can do a lot with the aliasing and import maps. I guess, yeah, we can talk about like npm workspace support, you know, doing hybrid Deno npm workspace. I think this is something that comes up a lot. People are interested in either using an npm package in their monorepo or something. So yeah, let's go over an example like that.
Okay. Second. Well, I have to reshare. 1 second.
No problem. I'm going to drop a link to the Workspaces documentation into the YouTube chat. Basically, going over like what some of the properties, where you could use them, and so on. Okay.
All right, so yeah, we got an npm workspace here. So one thing I've just gone and preemptively done is we don't have support for npm workspaces in the Deno LSP at the moment. We're going to add that in the future. So I've just disabled TypeScript and Deno for the time being, just for this demo to show it, so we don't get a bunch of squiggly lines. Yeah, so here I have like an npm workspace, and I have 3 packages: add, subtract, and CLI. So you see packages, add, subtract, and these are all npm workspaces. So let's go first into the add dependency. So I mean the add package. So it's dshared/add. It has an exports to this dist folder where we've built our package. You know, we have an index file in here that takes 2 parameters, adds them together, returns the result. You can see the actual TypeScript file here that we built into this directory. So we built it using TypeScript. We have our tsconfig here with an out directory in this dist folder, and it's all set up for Node. We have type modules. So this is a module, like it's using ESM, not using CommonJS. Our tests are run first by building TypeScript and then running the Node test runner. I know there's a way to get this to run TypeScript directly using a loader, but I was too lazy to set that up for this example. So you can see here we can do n run test, and it runs those. And so I'll just show like installing. So right now we've used npm to install this, but I can delete this. And in the future, we have this future environment variable, and this just says to opt into some new features that are going to be in Deno 2.0.
Yes, we want everyone to be using it. Deno _future. if you haven't tried it, check it out. We are trying to surface any bugs with it, so feel free to try any of your code bases and report back.
Yeah, so this will basically, in a npm like workspace or with a package JSON, this will act very similar to npm install. So you can see there it installed, very, very quickly, all our packages. And yeah, so this, let me try so if I go into packages add, I can do Deno task build, and that, let me just delete the output directory so you can see that. Yeah, so that runs the code in here. And now if we actually run this build output, let me, yeah, actually let me go into the next package before I show running, because there's not really much to run in here. I think maybe Deno test will work. Oh, it didn't work because of this. Yeah, that works. So this didn't work because in Node you don't specify the
Extension.
Yeah, you have to do what the build output is. So here in the build output, it's going to be a JS file, so you have to specify the actual .js file. But in Deno, you have to specify .ts. We do have this sloppy imports flag where you can actually just run that, and it resolves. This way. So. You can see it ran it in the dist folder as well there, but that's just because it happens to be in this directory. Yeah, so it runs those files. Let me just go in I have another one, the subtract. And this one's a little bit more interesting. I've gone ahead and I've implemented subtract by actually importing add from the workspace. And in Deno, it will be able to actually resolve this to the add workspace member. This is very similar setup to the add package. Let's also now go into CLI. And this CLI, it's basically taking in the add package, taking in the subtract package, and then also it has a dependency on chalk. You can see here chalk version 5.3.0. And it will add and use chalk to make it green, and then subtract here. Oops, this is wrong. That's 4 minus 2. So we can actually just run this with Deno, I think. Okay, yeah, it's asking for permissions because chalk uses permissions, but yeah, now this just all resolves. We just ran the TypeScript directly. There is this build directory from to make this work in Node. But let's just build it with Deno. But yeah, it's this is all working now.
Great. Yeah.
Maybe I can show it. Well, first, maybe is there any questions on this? And then maybe we can show just quickly converting this project to a Deno workspace and what that might look like. Or what do you think?
Yeah, let me check. There haven't been any questions yet, so yeah, let's go over how someone might reasonably change this incrementally into a Deno workspace.
Yeah, so the important part when changing it to a Deno workspace is basically you don't you could, but it's easier to start off converting the packages that use the other packages. So in this case, the CLI package uses the add and subtract ones. So I'm going to actually convert this one first. And to start off, I'm just going to add a Deno JSON here. And I'm going to add a workspace. And you can actually specify, this is the kind of long form of specifying a workspace. And it's why it's called Workspace rather than Workspaces, because you have a workspace, a singular workspace, and then within that you have members. So without the members, like if you just specify an array here and not an object, this is short form for what I'm showing here.
Yeah, so basically the workspaces in npm is like not an accurate representation of what this is.
Well, yeah, they've taken a different definition for what a workspace is. They have like even the packages are workspaces. It like is a workspace, and then you have a collection of workspaces. But I think like a more common definition of what a workspace is, you have like your workspace is what you're working in, and then within that you have different configs, packages. Like those have kind of distinct names, I think.
Got it. That's useful.
Yeah. So in here we can just like get rid of this build output. We don't need. Actually, we do need chalk still. So actually, I'm gonna update this. So I'll update it to Deno JSON. What we don't need, I didn't have TypeScript in here as a dependency. I think it was just pulling that in because it was in the node modules, but I should have had TypeScript as a dependency. So we don't really need this. Exports, get rid of this, get rid of building because we don't need building anymore. This just is the TypeScript file. And not the actual like build directory. We don't need to worry about build directories. And actually, since this is a CLI, you don't really, well, I guess, yeah, if you publish this to JSR, this is basically saying the entry point of this CLI. And now we have to change these dependencies to an import map. And in an import map, it's a little bit more verbose because you have to specify what bear specifier you want, but then where that maps. So it's a bit more explicit. And let's do, this one's from npm. So you just have to say where you're importing each from. In this case, we're importing from the workspace. And I'm also going to convert these other packages as well. But actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and like convert everything in one shot. But in this case, we don't need this because it will be automatically resolved to the workspace members when we use these bear specifiers.
Would we be able to migrate one of the packages just to see what a hybrid situation looks like?
Yeah, let me actually, so I'll change these to npm. So if I run this, oh, okay, now it's complaining that it can't find a package JSON for this workspace member. And that's just because I forgot to remove it from here. So this is in the package JSON. So it's now part of the Deno workspace. So I have it under packages CLI there. And if I run this, yeah, now that's resolving to this local, these npm packages that are also in my workspace. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to note in this hybrid scenario, like at the root level, we do need like a Deno config file and like a package JSON file.
Yeah, yeah, it figures out the whole workspace based on both, if both exist. And
yep.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and convert these to JSR because we're going to.
Yeah.
Actually, let's leave this one as npm for now because we'll just convert this one. But you can see now I can also delete this ts config, and we're like left down to a Deno JSON, a single one, and an index.ts file in this folder. And previously we had to do a whole build thing. Now we don't. Like I can just, put some text there, run this. Oh, I forgot to, because I was talking about converting that. Yeah, run this, and the output just everything's automatically updated. There's no more building. It is much nicer.
Yeah, it's far simpler, especially without like generating like emitting the type definition files and all that other stuff. Now it's just like the TypeScript file that you're working in and like one config file.
Yeah. So now I'm just going to quickly convert this subtract to Deno. So I'll get rid of this dist folder. We don't need that anymore. This tsconfig we do not need. It also should have had a dependency on TypeScript, but yeah, we could have removed that if it was there. I think TypeScript gets pulled in because this one has the dependency on TypeScript, so it ends up in the node modules TypeScript folder, and that's why that works. But anyway, yeah, so we can get rid of this build step. We don't need that anymore. Point this at TypeScript. Point this at the TypeScript file. Change this to imports, and we'll still depend on this for now. And if I run this, okay, yeah, now I'm getting that workspace member. So we'll switch this subtract over to here. Oops. And when I run, okay, yeah, it's still working. You can see now, again, subtract is much simpler. Just an index, no more bothering with building. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great. We have a question from the chat from Cody. In the NPM, in the import map with the NPM specifiers, is that linking and resolving to your local package?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I haven't published this package. So if I were to go into here, and let's ×2 on this, you can see it's, because, yeah, it's just times this b by 2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's using the local build.
Great. So that NPM specifier is not, it doesn't mean that it's pulling from NPM. It's still pulling locally.
Yeah, because there's a matching package here with this version. So within the workspace, those resolve to, like if it matches, it will resolve to the local package in the workspace.
Got it. Yeah, Cody is pointing out Cody noticed that for local JSR packages, you would have to omit the JSR prefix.
Yeah, I agree.
But for NPM, the NPM prefix you can still use that for local NPM packages.
I think it works for JSR packages as well.
Okay.
Like we have here, it using a JSR specifier for subtract now.
Oh, right. So that in that situation, the JSR specifier is also linking locally. Is that correct?
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's what I keep.
Okay.
So let's finally do the final update. So I'll link to JSR now. And at this point, so add, let's put that there. Let's actually format. Oop. Oh, I'm in the CLI directory. There we go. And yeah, like we don't need a build step anymore. We can just get rid of this completely. Yeah, we don't need this. So now let's change this add package. And actually, let's just delete this node modules folder. We don't need that. Delete the dist output. Don't need that. And yeah, let's delete tsconfig. Let's get rid of types node and TypeScript. Let's output the export to the TypeScript file. We can get rid of type module. We'll change this to Deno JSON. And yeah, we can get rid of this build. And so I have a test here for index.ts, and I'm using node test with node assert. And this is just running a test that I've called it, like described as add, that calls add, adds the two numbers together and gets the result. And now we can update the specifier to the TS file. And we can actually just completely remove this script. And I'll just show in this add. So we can just run Deno test. And we didn't really have to modify much. We just, we can use the node testing with the cert. And we can see it ran that one test. It passed. Let's make it fail. Yeah, we got the assertion error for 3. The output should have been 3, but we, had the wrong expected output. So, and yeah, like this is way, way simpler now. Let's run our CLI again. Let's just go in the root actually. Packages, CLI. Oh, npm. Where am I referencing npm? Here. Oh, actually, yeah, we can just get rid of this. And yeah, we can get rid of this as well, because we can just reference these bare specifiers.
Yep, that makes sense.
There. Yeah, now it's running. So yeah, you can see, actually I can get rid of what I had at the start now with this VS Code stuff.
Right, is there like an easy before, after?
Instead of like doing
Because
can we like deprioritize some things?
Oh, it looks like there might be. Oh, no, that should work. I don't know what's going on with the LSP here, but yeah, so, I can run tests everywhere. I can lint all the code. If I were to, or let's do this, that's going to show up as a lint error saying test isn't used. Oops, sorry, that's my exit out of insert mode. Yeah, so it's now like way, way simpler.
yeah.
What do we on here though?
Yeah, weird.
Oh, there's an open bug about that, about the bare specifiers not working. Should be fixed in the next patch release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to fix it right now, you'd have to. I'm not going to copy that. You have to add actual specifiers like this.
Oh, interesting. You have to map the JSR onto the bare specifiers.
Yeah, it should be getting chalk here though, so that's strange. But yeah, well, it's a brand new feature. We're ironing out the details. Should be fixed within the next week or so.
Yeah. Cody is asking another question about bare specifiers. So for the bare specifiers, like if we don't include the JSR or npm prefix, that the bare specifier is just a way to link directly locally within your workspace. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then the error that we're seeing, yeah, is that just like an LSP thing, or is that
an LSP?
Okay. Yeah. So that is something that we are aware of and we're working through. I'm just going through the other questions right now. Yeah, so we will add that to the docs. Thank you, Cody. Okay, great. Yeah, so that demo, I think it was a great demo. I think we should definitely put that on GitHub. I think people will have people would want to play around with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
like this example and like the end result and
the beginning and the end I think would be great to have on GitHub.
Yeah.
VGD asks, I might have missed this, but can you show what module exports look like in the Deno workspace? And I think that's just that's
like these exports. So so in a file, like for example, in like Deno STD, it's done a lot. If you want an example of like lots of exports, Deno STD is a good place. But I could also like say and add have another export, let's say output. And I could, so this is the default if you just specify this, like with JSR colon at /add. But you can also have different exports. So I can say this for the default export, and then I can have output. And output is going to direct to this output.ts file. And I'm just going to have it say hi for now. So if I go in, say, like add a file here, let's call it main.ts, and I'm going to import say hi from add. So it's not in there, but it is in output. Oh, it already does that. And yeah, you can see it resolves to that. So if I run this, it's going to say hi. Yeah, so you can specify different exports from the package. Whoops. There.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, Deno Standard Library has a bunch of these examples if you just go through any of that. Cool. We are almost at the top of the hour. We have about 4 minutes left. If there are any final questions, please get them in. We'll try to answer them in the next 4 minutes. Was there anything else you want to share about workspaces, David?
Trying to think. I think that's basically everything on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow the issue tracker for any updates about certain stuff. We have a workspaces tag on the issue tracker. So
yeah, I guess we can talk more broadly about the ongoing work with workspaces and what workspaces will look like in Deno 2, like any broad things that you think we should mention.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be many changes to this in Deno 2. I don't think any. It's just, yeah, it's mostly the install behavior for NPM workspaces. So it's going to be a lot more for an NPM workspace only. It'll be more like Node.
Yeah, the Deno install is going to change.
Still be the same thing. Yeah, you have to like install, like have an explicit install step. There's not going to be an explicit build step. Yeah. Yeah, I can like demo. So here, if I was to run CLI index.ts, oops, what folder am I in? Oh, packages. Okay, and in Node, if I were to change, this all the way down here in this actual TypeScript file, we should see everything increase by 1 here. Yeah, we'd have to open up this, build this package. We would have to figure out like a ton of stuff. We'd have to make sure we remember to run a build step after editing this package. And in Deno, it just, you don't have to bother with any of that. It just runs it. And
yeah, it's much simpler, especially working with different modules within a single repo, without all this unnecessary like emitting type definition files and things like that. So it's definitely a lot simpler.
Yeah, I guess one thing is this lock file, it goes to the root here. So previously, we'd have a log file for this one, and this one. And now, because it's a workspace, it just puts a single log file here. And also, we'll be making some updates to the log file to make it more terse. So it will only have the version in one place. So if you change a dependency, you're only going to see that dependency update in one place rather than in a whole bunch of places in the log file, which creates a lot of noise. So that should be a really good, better experience. You'll be able to figure out, oh, I have like duplicate dependencies more easily and things like that.
Great. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I think it makes sense to ladder up the log file to the root and try to keep it as simple as possible.
She's looking to recreate the test slot.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you all for joining the stream. Really enjoyed answering your questions today and going through Monorepos and Workspace support. This stream will be up on YouTube, so hello all future viewers of this stream. And if you have any questions, please leave us a comment or join our Discord or let us know on Twitter. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.